As part of this organization and what we do. My sisters are here this evening as well. So, like I said, we'll pack this up tonight, and then in the morning we'll be in Salina, the Salina campus, and then on Wednesday we'll be at Plano West High School, and Thursday we're at McKinney High School, and Saturday we're at Bird Airport. So, and then next week we're supposed to be at City Hall in Frisco. So, like I said, it travels. You can get the schedule if you know if anyone that you want to refer to see it. Just let us know. We'll let you know where we're going to be. But this evening is the first time we've done it in the evening with the Collin College at a Collin College location, and we did that in part because we've been asked for the last couple of years to do this exhibit in the evening so that the community could come in by. School Board President, Frisco ISD, School Board President Danette Davis, and Angela Pelham, who is City Council. And then a couple of weeks ago, Jesse reached out and said, hey, can you do it again? I was like, we'll get Frisco campus on Monday. Let's just do it all that day so that we all have to pack this, we don't have to pack this stuff up and go over and unpack it. And, so that's why we're here. So again, thank you all so much for coming out. There's a timeline back there if you went through the exhibit. I'm not going to go through my whole speech and all of that. You know why we're here, to celebrate Black History Month. And I mentioned this, our first speaker, just here previously, Danette Davis, who is our school board president, and she's going to come up and have a few words for us this evening, and then we'll have two other speakers after her. And these are very professional women. They know that they have a 5-minute time limit. And Danette is really going to stick to hers because she has another engagement that she has to get to. So, and we just want to thank her again for coming out this evening. She was here this morning at the program. So, I believe Danette Davis. Well, that's going into the video.
Oh, okay.
So you got to talk into both of them.
Oh, okay. She did explain that to me.
Unless you just want to pull that.
No, this is fine. And we'll just turn it on.
Should be on.
Testing.
Yeah.
Okay. And just talk, can you hear me? All right, so he gave us 5 minutes, but I promise I'll only be 3. I am Danette Davis. I represent Frisco Independent School District. I have been a trustee since 2020. I became a trustee during the longest election in the history of Frisco municipal elections, the COVID year. Since being elected, I have served on several committees as a trustee. I have served as secretary of our board, and for the past 2 years, I have served as our school board president. So if you have kiddos in Frisco ISD, usually they can see me or find me every second Monday at our administration building, where we host our school board meetings. If you have an interest in education or education politics, I invite you to come and join us as well. I am elated to be here to speak with you all today. I wanted to also share, I don't know if you shared this or not, David, but in my position as school board president and as a trustee, I am the first African American to ever hold a seat in our district. And I'm grateful for that. I think there was someone from media that reached out to me shortly after the election, and they said, how do you feel? How does it feel to be the first African American to ever hold a seat? So I'm elated about the service that I am going to do in serving our community and serving our students, but I'm a little disappointed that Frisco ISD became integrated in 1965 and it's 2020. And so I did hit the ground running, working to make sure that we meet the needs of every student. You may know our mission is to know every student by name and need, and we do just that on our campus communities and as a district. Right now, we are fighting for public education. Public education was on the ballot. I feel like we might have lost a little bit, But we are now going to advocate for public education dollars because it is imperative that all of our students have the right to a free education and a quality education. So free is good, we're grateful for that. I am a product of public schools, Chicago public schools to be exact. But our students deserve more than just free. We deserve for mandates that are being passed in Austin. I hope the people in Austin can hear me. We deserve for mandates that are being passed down in Austin to be funded. We deserve to make sure that our students have the right resources, and we shouldn't have to go broke or close schools to get them. So David mentioned that I won't be here for the entire program because I'm getting ready to jump in the car and go down to Austin and probably get in trouble.
Good trouble.
So keep me in your prayers. Thank y'all for being here today. Really appreciate you all. Want to make sure that you know that it is important to pay attention to what is happening to public education right now. It's important. It's not a Republican or a Democrat thing. Public education has everything to do with kids, and they do not have a D or an R in front of or behind their names. Our kids matter. It is important that we give them what they need, and we cannot do that if we are not properly funded. My name is Danette Davis, and I approve that message.
Woo!
Thank you so much, Danette. Our next guest is Kimberly Evans, and she is here on behalf of Renee Sample, who is going to be running for school board, Frisco Independent School Board, Board of Trustees. So just without further ado, Kimberly. And Kimberly, you can kind of give who you are and what you do as well in the city.
Woo!
I'm not as talented as Annette, so I'm not going to try to hold two microphones. So my name is Kimberly Y. Evans, and I actually am an appointed city official. I am the first Black person to ever be on the Frisco Economic Development Corporation Board. So I too followed in Danette's footsteps in doing something that served me in my background. I'm not in education, but I'm going to explain to you why I'm here this evening. But what I will say is I have the exact same sentiment that Danette had. While it's an honor to be the first, I got appointed in 2023. So why am I the first, right? So
Yes.
These are the things that we spend a lot of time working on, talking about. Who else do we need to have involved? Who do we need working for our community? But tonight, in my capacity, and I'm also an entrepreneur in the city of Frisco. I live in Frisco. I'm a small business owner in Frisco. So I do a lot of things that are around. I serve on the board for Frisco Diversity Leadership Council, and in my sorority, I am actually the chair for our Economic Development Committee. You guys hear a thing here? Economic development? Yeah, that's my thing. That is where I'm at. I'm an attorney with an MBA. I spent 25 years in corporate America and left corporate America 9 years ago to run our company full time. So when you see me out in the community, when you see me standing before you this evening, it is because I have a deep, deep passion for the quality of life in which all of us live. And so I'm here tonight in the capacity of serving on Renee Sample's campaign team. She is running for Board of Trustees for Frisco ISD. And we have a couple of opponents that are running against her. So I am here to represent her this evening to tell you why you should be voting for Renee. But I'm gonna say this first. Before I tell you why you should vote for Renee, what I am going to ask each and every one of you to do is to make sure you get out and vote. Everybody, thank you. Everybody gets so wrapped up in the federal elections and then the state elections, but the elections that are gonna affect you immediately, and when I say immediately, they get elected on a Saturday, they start serving and get sworn in the following week. So your local elections are far more important to the decisions that are going to be made to impact your lives. Our local school board, Frisco ISD, I was just in Austin last week for the city. Danette just told you she's going down for the school board. I was just there. Frisco is very well respected for our city and for our school board. However, although we're doing so well compared to a lot of other school districts, that does not negate the need that we have to make sure that our students have the right people fighting for them at all times. And one of the things that's critically important is that we are not just worried about our students, we worry about our teachers and we worry about our administration. And we need people on our board that are not on the board just for name's sake only. We need people that are on our board that are willing to do the work. So Renee Sample is one of those people. She has been serving in our community and working with our school district pretty much forever since she has been here. She has had all of her kids are Frisco ISD graduates, and she continued to serve even after they grew up. So Renee, she started getting involved by joining the PTA in elementary and middle school. She's been a substitute teacher for 10 years and did a long-term position as a substitute teacher. So she's actually been in the classrooms to understand what it is our teachers are doing day in and day out. Now, I don't know about all of you, but that is not my skill set. And my hats go off to anybody that wants to work in education and wants to be in the classroom every day. And we need to make sure that the people that are making decisions on our behalf understand what that means. I have an idea of what it means, but I'm the parent that shows up for field trips. We need somebody that's actually gone through that process. She's also been able to, she serves as a Frisco ISD mentor right now, so she's still mentoring students. She's on the District Legislative Leadership Committee and completed the board's Leadership Academy that they started last fall. And that academy is really to get people introduced to what it's like to serve on the board and to make sure that they actually understand what that work is going to be. She's also been on the District Advisory Committee and on special projects. Renee is the current past president of the Frisco Education Foundation, where she serves students and scholarships with grants for educators, middle schoolers, and if you don't know, we have this program in our school district called Mindbender, and they support the Incubator EDU program. So Renee is a part of all that. Her priorities are as follows. She wants to work on our budget. We need to have a balanced budget. For many of you, balancing the school budget is the exact same thing as balancing your budget at your house. So how many of you have the opportunity to spend money you don't have? Please don't say you do that. But here's what the reality is. Our school budget needs to be balanced the same way. We need to be making really good fiscal decisions when it comes to our schools and our students. She wants to make sure she collaborates with the board, the staff, and state legislators to not only increase the basic allotment, which is the minimum amount of funds allocated per student. So the state gives each school district an amount of money per every student enrolled in that school district. We need to make sure that we have that for public school funding, but also ensure it keeps pace with rising cost of living. How many of you know that it takes more money to send kids to school today than it did when all of us went through public school? Now, if you're like me, you just graduated yesterday because that's the age we stay in. But the reality of it is it's slightly different. And we need to make sure they have, for example, the technology needs that they have. We didn't need computers when we were in school. We all carried around spiral notebooks. It's a different time and we need to make sure that's funded. She's worried about retention. She will work closely with stakeholders and administrators to strengthen teacher retention efforts. You guys, if you've not spent any time with our school educators, they are an amazing group of people. If you come out to the voting polls, you will get to meet some of them. They all volunteer when they're off, but they're an amazing group of people. We need to keep them. We need to keep our educators here for consistency in the classroom and to create stability for our students. She wants to improve communication. We must streamline communication to deliver clear, concise, and transparent information to all the district stakeholders. And lastly is the essence of common sense leadership. And that's exactly what she will bring to the board. So on behalf of Renee Sample, I will ask all of you, she is running for place 2. So I will ask all of you to come out and vote, come to one of her meet and greets, come and get to know her, ask her questions. I will promise you, when I go out to vote, I know a lot of the people that are running, we don't need to have a popularity contest. I need us to vote for the people that are most qualified to do the job we need done for our students in Frisco ISD. So on behalf of Renee, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kimberly. again, thank you all so much for coming out this evening. We have, has everybody got their Girl Scout cookies? Because we got a Girl Scout troop. We've been selling Girl Scout cookies out here, so make sure you support the Girl Scouts. There's some other vendors out there as well. Please take your time to look at them as well. But again, the exhibit, and I'll explain it to you now, everything is labeled. All the artifacts are labeled, and it kind of tells you what it is and where it's from, what country in Africa it's from. Part one is pre-slavery, so it's before slavery, so it shows the riches of Africa, that there were kings and queens before slavery. And then part two is slavery to civil rights, and it kind of shows you the whole process of what happened between slavery and up to civil rights and after they gained their civil rights. And then part three is civil rights to how far we've come today. So it kind of shows you, the influences that we have, the areas that we excelled in, and things that we've served and invented as well. And then we have two additional exhibits. The Jackie Robinson exhibit, which is on the blue tablecloth, and we have Craig Daly back there that will explain everything to you about Jackie Robinson. And again, I didn't know anything about Jackie Robinson. I just knew he was a baseball player till I met Craig and found out, he was an entrepreneur, he was a civil rights advocate, he was, a philanthropist, he was a great business person. So there's a lot about Jackie Robinson that we just didn't know, that I didn't know. And then the fifth table is going to be the Wilford School project, which is in Farmersville, Texas, which is here in Collin County. The Wilford School is the colored school before desegregation. And the building is, the structure is still standing in the city of Farmersville. And the city of Farmersville purchased the building in 2023, and I think the project is supposed to be completely redone. And the building is going to open up in 2026, which is next year. And then they'll turn it back over to the community to do a museum there, and multi-purpose center as well, education center as well. So, and then in the middle we have African artifacts as well. And like I said, everything is labeled. And if you have any questions, please just raise your hand and let us know. We can answer your questions. There's food over here. There's charcuterie boards and water and everything, and that's open for everyone to enjoy as well. So again, thank you all so much for coming out this evening, and we look forward to you all having a great time, and be safe getting home this evening when you do leave. So and we want to thank Collin College for providing this space for us, and we also want to thank the Democratic clubs that came out and supported this event and got a lot of you all here this evening and sponsored the food as well. So we have the Frisco Area Dems, the Wild Dems, the
Coalition of Black Democrats.
Coalition of Black Dems, and who else? Anybody else?
Denton Together.
Denton
Together.
Denton Together, okay. So again, thank you all so much for coming out this evening. And again, enjoy the exhibit, and if you all have any questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand and either get me or my sister in the red or our other sister in the beige. She's sitting at the table there. But she doesn't have much of a voice because she's been sick, so she doesn't sound like that all the time. So don't let that scare you. But anyway, thank you again for coming out. Have a good evening.